Hello everyone. In this video we'll have a look at how the Piral-breadcrumbs plugin works. I have a sample code here. Let's start by installing the Piral-breadcrumbs plugin. Here I select the next version of it. After the package has been installed, we'll have a look at how to integrate it into the app shell. For this, let's have a look. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at the index.ts. This file here uses Piral core directly. So if you're using, for instance, Piral, this may look a little bit different, but the basic idea is that we only need to integrate it in the creation of the instance call. So here you'll find the plugins section and you'll be just able to add it to the plugins. What we do is we just call create breadcrumbs and that's about it. So now Piral-breadcrumbs is integrated. Now if we would run it, there wouldn't be anything visible, and there are reasons for that. So let's integrate it maybe on a page and let's see how that works. Let's say we have a pilot that looks like this. For demonstration purposes, just embedded here in the app shell, but it will look exactly the same if you have it in a dedicated repository or dedicated package. Now what we can do is we now have register breadcrumb available here, and we can just set it up. So all we need to do is we need to provide a path and a title for it. So what we could say is we have a path, for example, this is our example page here, and we give this a title, well, we call it example page. So far so good. We described now this page, but it doesn't have a parent so far, so maybe let's say there is a parent and it's just the slash. At this point in time it's not known to what kind of breadcrumb the slash refers to, but let's have a look at that in a second. Now, if I would just start it as it is right now, let's do that. Let's npm start this solution. Let's see if it all builds. It seems to be fine. We go to localhost 1234, and this is this example. There's no home page, so page is not found, but we have an example page. But if you notice, there is no notion of breadcrumbs here. So let's change this. In our layout, we may want to bring in the breadcrumbs, maybe between the menu here and the content. The way how to do it is by using the breadcrumbs component. Now, let's have a look if that already somehow works. Well, there's written example page, and that's about it, right? But it doesn't look so bad. Maybe let's add a little bit of things. So first of all, let's add a real home page. And what we could do is we could just use our root pilot here to maybe register another page. Let's register the home page here. Let's just say on the home page. So now, if we look here, we are on the home page and we can now navigate. But what we wanted to have, of course, is also this breadcrumb here. So let's use the same pilot, so instance root, and let's register breadcrumb for this too. Again, we need to give it a path, so that's now the slash, and we need to give it a title. Let's call it home. And now we see home on the home page and home example page. Now that's nice, but it may not be as we expected, right? Because home is written directly before example page. There's nothing in between. And also maybe you want to have the clickable. So now what you can do is you can determine the design by introducing a couple more components. So here's the breadcrumbs container and here's a breadcrumbs item, for instance. So what can we do with the breadcrumbs item? Let's see. There's a function and it has current, path, and yeah, let's see. So we want to have the current, path, and the children. And let's say current is true. we want to have a link here. We should go to the path, right? And otherwise, I mean, we are the current element. Sorry, that is of course reversed. We may want to have that maybe, let's say, strong. We just take the children here. That's it. So let's see. Let's format that nicely. So if you're current, we make that strong. Otherwise, we present the path. Now you see that's bold, and we now have the breadcrumb solution working nicely. The only exception is that there is nothing in between, but that is something that you can of course also set up via your container here. So let's do that. Let's see, it only offers us children, but what you could of course always do is that you use, for instance, react.children, and you just map over these children, and maybe you want to put each of these in its own container. So let's maybe make a spawn for each of these items, and you can give it some styling here, I don't know, and with a little bit of a margin, or I don't know, like 1 EM. Maybe a little bit too much, but you get the idea, right? And this is it. So you could now play around with this. You could make it more beautiful. Could have, let's say, an element also in between. This is all up to you. There are some examples on the plugins page, and that's how it works with Piral Breadcrumbs.